welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander, and today we're taking a look at a brand new game from Legion Wargames, and it's Target for Tonight. And it's Britain's strategic air campaign over Europe, 1942 to 1945. Now, this is a follow-up to Target for Today, which is American daylight bombing raids over Germany and Third Reich targets over Northern Europe, and this is British version of that game. So this is Bomber Command. You'll be flying Lancasters, Wellingtons, Halifaxes. I think they've got Sterling bombers as well, all that kind of stuff. But this is nighttime raids, so you have different situations. You're going for area bombing at the behest of Bomber Harris, and there'll be obviously some different things to cope with it being nighttime and the night fighters and all that kind of stuff that you're going up against. So I'm very excited for this one. Well, let's crack it open and get looking. It is designed by the same designers as Target for Today, Steve Dixon and Bob Best, and they did a great job with that one. So let's see what we've got here. Now, this is a solitaire game, and it's basically a solitaire only. In theory, you could, do some co-op where you fly together, but really this is designed as a solo game. This is nice. We have a bag of bags, and we have all the appropriate dice in here. There's 2d6 and 2d10s as well. So that's nice for keeping everything organized. Now this is new. So if you played Target for Today, everything was it was paper. This is a new paper stock, and it is also glossy as well, and it's color. I've not seen color in their manuals before. Oh, it's got color on the inside too. Ooh, this is nice. Okay, I'm excited for this. That looks like it's really nice. There's a lot of pages to this. But they use, decent font size, and once you read it through, it's very sequential, rolling on charts. So, you're going to read the rules and it should be fine. Bombers, 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 ending the mission. And, okay, so this is optional rules. So you've got, still, 44 pages of rules, and then a bunch of optional stuff at the end, it looks like. So that'll be nice and interesting. So that's the rules of play. That's a really nice manual so far. I like that. And we said this is rolling on tables. So this is our first game book, which is the game tables. And it has a contents page with all... So the rules will say, oh, roll on chart, 5-2. Well, this shows you 5-2 what it is. Really easy to get through. These are sequentially organized. There's going to come a point where all you're going to be doing is using this as a reference, basically. You won't need the rules anymore after, 1 or 2 missions at most. So you're going to roll through the charts, rolling for takeoff, any mechanical failures, what those mechanical failures are, and their consequences. And for all the different planes and different iterations of those planes, that's going to give you kind of where you're at as far as, oh, this thing breaks on this particular plane, if that's what you're flying, that kind of thing. And you got phases of the moon, anti-aircraft fire, there'll be obviously navigation and weather rolls, and then it's getting to the target, dropping your bombs, and hoping for the best. Now this, you're also going to have a number of night fighters you're going up against, things like BF-110s or modified Dorniers, things like that. So the combat's going to be, I hope, different, because night fighter races fought in a different style to daylight raids with 109s and Focke-Wulf. So I hope that does provide us with some meat. But you saw it's a big manual with a lot of tables in it, and that's something I enjoy with this one. Is it is a narrative game, but the narrative gets really detailed. You're not only going to roll, oh, I was hit, but where you were hit and what happened there. So you can, some of it's optional, but you can really get into a good story and the details of what happens to you. And that's what I like about this game. We have a gazetteer, which also includes moon phases. So this is every target, and I believe this is in the same vein as Target for Today. They researched every possible target that was actually bombed in the campaign from 42 to 45, and that's available here. And this tells you, how many zones you're going, and I don't know if it's the moon phases or if it's like your weather or what kind of terrain you're over. Usually it's something like that, but this gives you indication of what you're going up against depending on which city you're going to. And then we have, okay, these are very cool. So Target for Today had big kind of references like this size for the planes. Here we've got these these kind of old looking army, or I guess it would be Air Force manuals. These are printed, this is blue cardstock with white paper inside. And it's little touches like that I really enjoy. So you've got Sterling bombers, and this tells you, this is if you're getting attacked on your specific plane, this is your damage charts that you're going to be rolling on for when you take hits. You've got the same for the Halifax 2 and 5. And then the Lancaster as well. Heavy bomber. And then you've got a Wellington here as well. So the aesthetic of this is really cool. I like this. And that's a huge step up and in production from Legion. That's very impressive that they've really gone all out in this game. So I'm excited to play with it. Having something that's aesthetically pleasing and tactile in a solo game, I like that. That's enjoyable. It could have just been another, book, and it would have been fine. But this is not. I like that. That's nice. Okay. So here's our enemy night fighters that we're going to be going up against if and when. And these counters are huge. These are, these are like 1.5 inches maybe? They're massive. This is Dornier right here. Look how big that is. And it's single-sided. These seem to all be single-sided. Those are huge. But they're very well detailed. And then we have our admin counters here. So you've got your different crew members here at the top. All the different planes. If you're going to be flying entire bomb streams and squadrons, you can do that if you choose. But this tells you which plane you are within the squadron, basically. But then there's damage markers, wound markers, all the kind of stuff that you would expect from these. These ones also single-sided, but these are nice looking quality counters there. And again, they punch pretty nicely. Gone are the days where I'm taking an X-Acto knife trying to punch these out, so those are pretty nice. I'm going to have a good time with those. And then we're getting into... Alright, there's a lot in here. Okay. So these are our play mats. So here's our Lancaster. We're going to put those crew markers in these spots. And then this tells you which gunners and what their fields of fire are for when you're resolving that. It looks like we have our armament options, because you can modify, who's going, you can ditch guns for other things. You have a lot of options with these. And then you're going to gain different radar and navigation technology as the campaign progresses. And this is single-sided, so we've got one for our Lancaster. One for our 4-engine Sterling. And these are really nice as well. These are decent thick, and it's kind of that semi-gloss, that satin. These are really nicely produced. We have medium bombers here in a Wellington. And a Halifax. So those are nice. You're only going to use one of those, obviously, depending on which campaign you're doing and what you choose to fly. And it looks like we've got here our major play aid. Okay, this is single-sided, so you can have this, you can just lay all your charts out if you choose, which has your sequence of play, And then what you're doing in each zone, combat sequence of play, AAA, fire, night fighter race. This is what you're going to have out. This and that book of the charts, that's going to guide you through the game real easy. So that's nice. I enjoy that. Okay, campaign 9, 12, 11, and 10. Are there more of these? Yes, okay. It looks like there's a lot of different campaigns in this. Alright, so we'll get to those here in a second. We have our zone worksheet. And you should copy this, obviously, for your own use. This is single-sided card. We have our squadron game assignment sheet. If you're playing the squadron game, while you're flying 12 bombers, this is to track all of that. You don't have to do that, you can just fly a single bomber. This is your mission composite record. So here, you're going to do all your missions on here, and the planes that you're flying, and all the different things that may or may not happen to your, guys that get wounded or become aces, things like that. And then we have our different mission sheets for our different planes. So we have Halifax, Wellington, Stirling, and Lancaster. So here you're going to mark off ammunition, and you're going to choose whether you're using 303 or 50 cal, depending on what period of the war that you're in, or if you're using optional rules. And then you've got your crew status markers and all your different mission markers as well. Again, single-sided, you're going to want to make copies of these. So, campaigns. Campaign 1, Campaign 2. So if you want to play these historical campaigns, you probably have to, I imagine. You could roll randomly and just do a one-off mission, but if you're playing through campaigns, this is 8th to 9th of March to 29th and 30th of May 1942. And this is basically your subset of missions you're going to go to. So you're going to roll D100. This is where you're going to go. You're going to then look up in that gazetteer. It's going to say you're going to travel 7 zones. 2 of them are over water. 4 of them are over land. 1 of them's the target. That kind of thing. Campaign 1 and 2. 3 and 4. 5 and 6. 7 and 8. 8's fairly large. 43 to 44. 8. And then we've got 9 and 10. And this doesn't reflect the length of them necessarily. It's more to do with there's many more options because they were running a lot more raids. Bomber Command was 9 and 10. So 11 and 12. So, a lot of stuff to go through. Now, we have these cards. These are blue paper, don't need that. These cards are going to go on this battle board. So there's one for each of the different planes. Oh, we got a B-29 as well. Interesting. I wonder if that's... I wonder if there's optional rules for that. Ooh. Let's pull these out. Okay. So these are just big cards, and these are overlays. So these are going to go on your tactical combat board. So if I'm flying a Lancaster, say, boop, we just stick it in the middle, and that's going to stay there the whole game. So here is where we're going to put our incoming night fighters at different angles and different altitudes. These are our zones. So if my target's in zone 13, I got to go through all these zones, rolling for navigation, weather, enemy presence, all that kind of stuff, all the way there and all the way back. And as such, these games are, I don't know about this one, but the games of this style, usually, a lot of stuff happens. And that's why they make good stories and good narrative, as you try and hold your crew and you're playing together, quite literally sometimes. But this is a mounted board, it's just single-sided. If you're flying a Halifax, that's what you do. Real simple. So there's a lot in here, but gameplay-wise, these games are not complicated. I know it's 44 pages of rules, but that's because they're detailed and everything's explained in there. But from my experience, once you play a mission, you know exactly what you're doing. You roll through that sequence of play, rolling on different charts, seeing what happens. When you get into combat, that's when your decision space becomes really a little bit bigger, where you're assigning gunners to take on different targets and try and fend things off. If you take hits, you've got fire extinguishers to try and put things out. But, you know, this isn't a series of games that's the crunchiest. This is more of a story-driven game. And if that's what you want, this is going to be right up your alley. So, appreciate you guys tuning in. This is Targetful Tonight from Legion Wargames. It's available now. It just got released. So, appreciate you guys tuning in. And I've been Alexander from theplayersaid.com.